All right, everyone. Once more, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in this world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of IP2 Wiki Info Live. Now, before we get started, I want to bring to all of your attention that Vegan Patriot is live as of this moment. Make sure that you check her out on her official YouTube channel, Vegan Patriot Meme Dog and Friends. If you just type that in, you should be able to find it. She's live. She appears to be safe still at this stage, but myself and many others have encouraged her to live stream as much as possible, considering the very precarious and dangerous situation, at least from my perspective, that she's in as of this moment, due to a public figure that she had the misfortune of crossing paths with, known as Nathaniel Lee, or Nathan, aka Pissed Off Paratrooper. He is a predator, he is a liar, he is a deceiver, and he is, from what we're seeing, somebody who's very intimidating to women with certain personality types. And that's what I want to talk about specifically today when it comes to Vegan Patriot. Vegan Patriot is definitely a very strong woman. She is adventurous. She's a risk taker, really. But she's a little bit insecure and she's a bit submissive when it comes to men with certain personality types. And that is something that myself and others who have watched her for a while have observed. A lot of women who grow up in the culture that she's from, it's encouraged for them to be a little bit submissive to males. I personally think that it's a detrimental way to raise your daughter, but everyone's life experience is different. But part of the reason that women such as myself and others will always have her back and will always be a part of her support system, even if we're remote away from her, is because we do realize that sometimes she goes with the flow a little bit too much, and that's what gets her into trouble. That's why it's important for her to have friends and a support system, including women with my personality type, because when I see the kind of thing that she's made the mistake of getting herself into, I'll be one of the first to help her fight her way out of it. And that's what she's in the process of doing right now, fighting her way out of a very dangerous situation. But again, I encourage all of you to listen to her story on her channel. But again, the reason that she's connected to people such as myself is because somebody such as myself is very OCD, very organized as well. And I think it's important that many of you hear from her own mouth, but in small chunks, exactly what she's contending with. Because I know that there's some of you out there who are calling her a liar. She is not a liar when it comes to this situation. Some of you are saying that she's over exaggerating. No, she's not. If anything, she has conducted herself with a lot of class and she's minimized the severity of this situation. This guy, Pissed Off Paratrooper, aka Nathan, is definitely a predator. I have 8 clips that I'm going to show all of you right now that I'm going to share with you. I want all of you to pay attention to Vegan Patriot's words in these clips. That way you understand exactly what she's contending with. And I'll tell you, if she was my sister dealing with this, I would have already killed this man. Seriously. If Vegan Patriot was my flesh and blood, and I found out that she was dealing with this kind of a guy, I would be in jail right now, because he realized within her that she is naturally somewhat submissive. He tried to put her in a situation that she felt like she just had to go along with. He took advantage of the position of power that he's in right now, being that she is getting on her feet financially. And he's weaponized her workplace, which is YouTube, and the chat against her. He's infiltrated her workplace in order to try to isolate her from support and people who do believe her. Again, if Vegan Patriot was my blood related relative and she was dealing with Nathaniel would most likely be dead at this point in time. So let me go ahead and play these clips. I want all of you to pay attention to these clips, to what she says. She is not lying. I knew when she first told me what was going on that she was being truthful. And women, especially if you are in the Tempe, Arizona area, avoid this guy, Nathaniel Lee, like the plague. His name is Nathaniel Lee. Avoid him. He is a public figure, also known as pissed off paratrooper. He is a predator. And I personally believe that if Vegan Patriot did not have access to her live stream, he would have already sexually assaulted her. She has been specific in saying that she was not raped by him, but he definitely crossed the lines between landlord and tenant. He's not a professional landlord. He's not a good friend. He is a predator and an opportunist. Here we go.
Jenny, let's just say that when he's drunk, he got a little handsy one night, and it made me very uncomfortable for the duration of being here, to the point where I had to go sleep in Corey's room when I was on the couch. I don't think Corey would testify to this. He doesn't want to get kicked out either, but there's a reason I was staying in Corey's room. You guys remember that, when I was staying in Corey's room and I was streaming from his room? Yeah, there's a reason.
All right, now we're going to go to the next clip, and we'll go through these again, and I'll provide my commentary as I feel necessary, but I just want to go through these clips so that all of you know exactly what's going on.
It wasn't what I consider an assault. I think he was just being a pig. And like the way he juggles women, he told me and Corey not to tell the one girl about the last girl. He's a pig. Well, it happened once, but then he still kept trying to get me to go back to bed with him, and he cuddled me quite a few times, and like, yeah, it wasn't wanted. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of like laid there and just let him, but like, it was very uncomfortable, and there was a reason I kept trying to get on the couch. And in the text I have, you can see that I'm trying to stay on the couch, but he is very insistent and would insist that I go to his bed with him. No, when he grabbed me, I moved away. And then he moved his hand as soon as I moved away, like he knew he'd done something he shouldn't have done. And the text I have of him apologizing for the next morning very clearly indicates that he obviously was like not in the headspace he should have been. And I know once you guys read the text, you'll know, well, he's gonna act like it didn't happen. Maybe he can claim drunk, except for the part where he apologized to me the next morning for a reason. So it's obviously because he fucking knows what he did. Actually, a lot of people believe me. A lot of people believe me because I've shown them the texts. Oh, I have a bonus text for you guys also. His friend, his creepy little predator friend that was trying to get me to go to bed with him. Oh yeah, I have all those texts. Oh, and I have his dick. I'm gonna be sharing all that with you guys. I've had a room the majority of the time that I've been here. There was just 1 month that I didn't, and I had to sleep on the couch. So it was only during the course of 1 month that he had an excuse to beg me to go on the couch with him, or to his bed with him. Once I had a room, he had no excuse left.
So you all heard what she had to say, and I just, you know, compiled these clips so that all of you can have a good, clear picture in the event that you don't want to watch her live, because her lives are often multi-hour long lives. But this guy created a situation initially to where he was trying to get her to sleep with him in his bed. He did get handsy with her. She does have an issue with saying no. She's a naturally go with the flow kind of girl. She was most likely raised in an environment to where she was taught to be easygoing, and he identified that in her and tried to take advantage of the situation that she's in a vulnerable position right now due to her financial situation and no longer having her car. And I am convinced that he had something to do with that car being picked up when it was picked up. It's the timing of it. Now, Vegan does not agree with me on that, but I just know how guys can be. But let's go through these clips one more time. And I just want to share my thoughts along with the clips. Again, this is a total of 8 clips that I put together. I will put them together in their own video when I have the chance to. But I just want all of you to know what she's had to say, her own words. I have seen the evidence that she's referred to. And I just know that this man is a very bad man. I just know it. And I am going to make sure that he cannot do this to any other vulnerable women. Never again. And you know what, Nathaniel? I know you're going to hear this. This is the last time that you will ever be able to do this kind of a thing to a woman again. I promise you.
Jenny, let's just say that when he's drunk, he got a little handsy one night, and it made me very uncomfortable for the duration of being here, to the point where I had to go sleep in Corey's room when I was on the couch. I don't think Corey would testify to this. He doesn't want to get kicked out either, but there's a reason I was staying in Corey's room. You guys remember that, when I was staying in Corey's room and I was streaming from his room? Yeah, there's a reason.
So this guy is very aggressive, okay? She paid him some money. She agreed to pay him some money to be able to stay on his sofa initially. He was trying to convince her to come and sleep in his personal bedroom, and you've all seen his bedroom, the room with the American flag that he streams out of. She didn't want to do that. She wanted to retain her independence. She did not want to date him. She did not want to sleep with him. She did not want to be intimate with him. Nothing. But he was persistent, and so much so that she had to stay in the room of the other guy who I guess would be the third roommate in that house, because this guy was so insistent, and she is naturally fairly passive. That is not right. That is not what a professional landlord acts like. And it's not what a friend acts like either. Next clip.
It wasn't what I consider an assault. I think he was just being a pig. And like the way he juggles women, he told me and Corey not to tell the one girl about the last girl. He's a pig.
So there she explains that she perceives him as being a bit of a womanizer. Excuse me. Excuse me. He's a womanizer. I personally believe that these women from out of state that he supposedly has flown in or asked to come and visit him are most likely professional escorts, considering his demeanor and his appearance. I think he would have a very difficult time ever finding any mainstream civilian women to date. Also, it's important to note that he personally has stated on his own stream that he supposedly is diagnosed with PTSD, and that's not exactly something that a lot of women gravitate towards. Next clip.
Well, it happened once, but then he still kept trying to get me to go back to bed with him, and he cuddled me quite a few times, and like, yeah, it wasn't wanted. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of like laid there and just let him. But like, it was very uncomfortable, and there was a reason I kept trying to get on the couch. And in the text I have, you can see that I'm trying to stay on the couch, but he is very insistent and would insist that I go to his bed with him.
And see what she just said in that clip, that's what really makes me feel like if she was my blood relative and I had a blood relative that told me that story about some guy who she trusted to stay with, but then flipped the script and acted like that towards her. That's why I feel like I would be in jail for killing him if she was my blood related relative, because he has a rapist mentality. Okay. Again, Vegan Patriot is naturally fairly submissive and passive. especially when it comes to men. I personally feel that it's the culture that she was raised within to be that way. I have known a lot of women over the years, especially when it's come to my work with helping women leave the adult entertainment industry, who have been similar to vegan, similar backgrounds. They don't know how to say no. You heard her say, I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of laid there. Nathan, you need to give her back her car and you need to disappear off the internet permanently. I'm telling you. In my opinion, he assaulted her. She did not want to cuddle with him, and he forced the issue. He forced himself on her. He deserves to be punched in the face. This is the kind of reason that I believe God created me to be a woman instead of a man. Because I'll tell you, if I was a man, I would find this fucker, and I don't think he would have a face anymore. Maybe that's why his face is so ugly. Maybe that's already happened to him. Somebody else had to do that to him because his face doesn't look normal to me. But he definitely forced himself upon her. Next clip.
No, when he grabbed me, I moved away. And then he moved his hand as soon as I moved away, like he knew he'd done something he shouldn't have done. And the text I have of him apologizing for the next morning very clearly indicates that he obviously was like not in the headspace he should have been.
Yeah, he knew that he did something wrong, and he's been trying to intimidate her ever since not to say anything. I mean, this guy's done nothing but take from her. He has a brand new ability to stream and have an actual audience, whereas he normally wouldn't have if he had never met her. Now he's pretending to be victim when in actuality he's the predator. He deserves to be freaking punched in the face. He made her feel uncomfortable. She hasn't felt comfortable since he's been handsy with her, and she's kind. She's very kind and very mild. To just define all this as handsy, it's more than that. It's a lot more than that. And a lot of women, aside from myself, who are looking at this, we are encouraging her to take legal action because this crossed the line in so many ways. He is a predator to the highest degree.
And I know once you guys read the text, you'll know, well, he's gonna act like it didn't happen. Maybe he can claim drunk, except for the part where he apologized to me the next morning for a reason. So it's obviously because he fucking knows what he did.
Exactly. He does know what he did. And he's trying to cover his tracks, but it's too late. We all know about it. And he's never going to be able to lure any other women into this kind of situation again, ever. Oh, and something I want to note, he's already in communication with a male in this community who is known for making threats of rape and assault against women and children. A man known as Q, aka James Metallo. He has been spotted in this Nathaniel Lee's chat. They are communicating behind the scenes. I'm going to make sure law enforcement knows about that.
Actually, a lot of people believe me. A lot of people believe me because I've shown them the texts. Oh, I have a bonus text for you guys also. His friend, his creepy little predator friend that was trying to get me to go to bed with him. Oh yeah, I have all those texts. Oh, and I have his dick. I'm going to be sharing all that with you guys.
And this isn't something else to where he deserves to be punched in the face. He had a friend proposition her too. So it wasn't just Nathaniel Lee propositioning and trying to get with Vegan Patriot in an inappropriate way that crossed the line between landlord and tenant, but one of his friends also tried to proposition her. Vegan Patriot was not staying at your house, Nathaniel Lee, to be your concubine or your plaything. She needed a place to be in. You took advantage of it, and I'm going to make sure you never do it again. Now, I'm not sure if at the end of that clip, when she's talking about a dick pic, if she's talking about Nathaniel's or the friends, but either way, Inappropriate, completely inappropriate. Last clip.
No, he'd already wanted to charge rent. Guys, I agreed to live here before my car got repossessed, and at a price of $500, not at a price of $750 or $800. I would never have paid that much for that room, and I would have never agreed to it.
That room definitely should not be rented at the charge of $800, not in the least, not for that area where he lives. Maybe in his opinion, he lives in a nice area, but really it's not that nice of an area. Nathaniel Lee, I feel still that you owe her money for the gift of streaming that she gave you. You've done nothing but trash her. You've done nothing but try to intimidate her into silence when it's come to your inappropriate behavior. If she was my blood related relative and you'd done that kind of shit, I would have already killed you. And I will not retract my statement on that ever. You need to disappear off the internet. And as I've said, this is just the start. But I encourage all of you to subscribe to Vegan Patriot. She's live, I believe, right now. Support her. And women, don't let men like Nathaniel Lee treat you like this. You don't have to go with the flow. You don't have to be passive to be seen as a nice person. You don't have to be submissive to be seen as a nice person. You don't let these pieces of garbage intimidate you into silence when they act inappropriately with you. He had zero right to treat her that way. So that's all I have to say. This whole thing just, it really makes me very upset because I've known women to be in this kind of situation before, and for this mass group of people who dislike her for reasons completely unrelated to any of this to come after her and bully her and side with that monster, you're sick. I am going to make sure everyone in his area, in his life, knows about this. From the racism to the misogyny to the bigotry to the weaponization of her workplace, you're done, Nathaniel Lee. You're done. So why don't you go and cry to your little friend Q, aka James Metallo, who we also have clipped and have gone to law enforcement about when it's come to his threats of rape against women and children, and cry about that. Hope you drop dead, you piece of shit. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. I just wanted to put all those clips together so that all of you can just get a summary as to what's what. But pray for Vegan Patriot. Welcome, Astro Mom. Good to see you. Good to see you. It is sad how hatred brings people together. It really is. But that's just how the world works. And that's why those of us who are of the light and who believe in God and who really live our lives right, that's why we got to keep fighting the good fight, even if it can be to our detriment. Because I know in this case, this will be to my detriment. But when it comes to this guy, he deserves to be punched in the face. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye. Once more, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in this world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of IP2 Wiki Info Live, audio only edition. Very quickly, I want to go over even more evidence and proof in regards to the situation revolving around Vegan Patriot and the creepy guy from Tempe, Arizona, who she had the misfortune of crossing paths with, known as Pissed Off Paratrooper, aka Nathaniel Lee. As soon as I learned about this situation from Vegan Patriot, and she told me a few things a few days ago, I knew that she was telling the truth. She showed me some evidence when it comes to a few things, but just having to do with a few key things that she said, I knew she was being honest. The thing about Vegan Patriot that I've observed over the years is that often she minimizes the severity of situations that she's in. Why she does that, I don't know. I think it's because she doesn't want people to worry about her, to be honest with you. But she does tend to do that. And that's why certain women Even if we have disagreements with her, we still are her support system. We back her up and we will help her fight whatever it comes down to, because she's a good person overall and she does not deserve to be treated the way that this man, Nathaniel Lee, treated her. So, very quickly, we're going to go over some text messages that he posted just a few moments ago over on his stupid little YouTube page that nobody's going to visit once Vegan Patriot gets on with her life and gets out of his house. um Pissed off paratrooper. And really, for him to post all these texts was very invasive, but hey, blessing in disguise, because I guess he didn't think that people were actually going to read through every single text that he posted, but I sure as hell did. And I found several things that definitely point to him being an incredibly unprofessional landlord. He definitely did breach quite a few professional lines between himself and Vegan Patriot, because he definitely is sexually attracted to her. He propositioned her multiple times and she definitely tried to brush it off from what I can see, but he has been persistent. I definitely believe that he forced her to cuddle with him even though she was not feeling it. She didn't want to. And honestly, I think that he should do some jail time for everything that he's put her through, because he also owes her money, from my perspective, in the realm of about $7,350. You can look at my previous videos to see how we came up with that number. Let me go ahead and put the thing on the screen just to refresh some of your memory. I'll take that banner off. In my opinion, he does owe her $7,350. Will she ever recoup that money? Unclear. But let's take a look at these texts that Nathaniel Lee of Tempe, Arizona posted over on his own community tab. And I want to point out a few key things to you, okay? Now, this first text is from, let's see, September 1st of 2024. Now, I don't know her exact move-in date when it came to him, okay? But still, if that's if that's his tenant, meaning that Shay, aka Vegan Patriot, is his tenant, no professional landlord or someone who's renting a room to somebody tries to force them to sleep in their bed, meaning Nathaniel's bed. Nathaniel, it seems, the entire time she was there, was trying to create situations to where she had to sleep in his bed, and she did not want to. She is not attracted to him. His face is not attractive. And he, it seems, wouldn't take no for an answer. And honestly, I believe that if she did not have her live stream, he probably would have full out raped her. I feel like he already did engage in something that I would consider a breach of physical boundaries, definite misconduct with her. That's how any court of law really would see it. But let's really take a look at this. Okay, so as of Sunday, September 1st, he sent her a text saying, "I need you to take my bed tonight." So that seems to be the first time he was trying to get her to get in the bed with him in his room. And she responded saying, "No, I'll take the couch. Sure, I can take the couch." You know, she was willing to sleep on the couch because she did not want to sleep with him. Then he goes on to say, "But it's my buddy's birthday and he needs to crash in that room." Meaning, I guess, the room that she was in or something along those lines. And the fact that the buddy was involved, that really sends up a lot of red flags in my mind. Kind of like the buddy knew that this guy, Nathaniel Lee of Tempe, Arizona, was trying to get laid by Vegan Patriot. And the buddy was, okay, I'll just say that I'm too drunk to drive or I have to stay over. So that way is in the bed with you. So I feel like the buddy was in on this. And then on top of that, liquor was involved, as you can see in that last piece of the text below. Just look where the green arrows are. So liquor was involved. I mean, this is all a very scary situation for a single young woman, and that is what Vegan Patriot is. Okay, so that whole thing I thought was wrong. Let's go to the next text now. All right. Now, still, we're on that same day back in September. They're at the bar. He says, I'm not going to kick you out of that room to take the couch. That's a dick move. You can have my bed and I'll take the couch. And you know what? I'm willing to bet that he would have pranced his ass in that room at some point while she was laying down and would have tried to get in that bed with her, or would have acted like he had to use the bathroom or something and come out naked or something along those lines. And then he would have said, oh, well, you let me on. You were sleeping in my bed. Guys like this, I'm telling you, if you're a woman in the Tempe, Arizona area, you need to avoid this guy like the plague. His name is Nathaniel Lee. He is a public figure. He calls himself Pissed Off Paratrooper. All right. Then he tries to push the issue even more by using his dogs as a mechanism to try to get her to stay in his bed. He says, my dogs will try and sleep with you there, though. They sleep in my bed every night. Well, so what? She's animal loving girl. She loves animals. She has multiple pets. We've seen her with multiple pets. Animals love vegan. Vegan loves animals. That's not going to work. But the point is that he consistently tried to get her to sleep in his bed. And that is not something that a professional landlord should ever do, ever. Or even a good friend who knows that a woman is down and out. She doesn't really want to, be sexual with him or anything. No, he's not good looking. And other reasons too. Maybe she just didn't feel attracted to him for whatever reason. All right. So in this screenshot, again, he's trying to get her to crash in his room. He says, you're good to crash in my room. She doesn't want to be in his room. But again, he keeps trying to get her to get in his bed, in his room, because he wanted sex. This is a sex fiend. We have heard that he likes to fly in women from out of state who I would assume to be prostitutes, because really that's the only way that he could ever probably get sex. And he thought that with vegan, he could morph her into a live-in girlfriend. He probably told whoever's birthday that was, whoever his buddy was, that that was going to be his girlfriend. I'll bet you that's what he said. But now the world's going to know, not only is Vegan Patriot not your girlfriend, Nathaniel Lee, you basically tried to push her into an uncomfortable position. I mean, she's kind saying that you didn't assault her, because I consider that forced cuddling to be a form of assault. And I do feel like you were trying to force yourself on her because she has a relatively submissive and passive personality. But okay, so let's look at the next text message. Okay, did I skip ahead? I might have. Let me see. Did we look at this one? Okay, that's in his room, in the room. What's this one? Okay, so here, now we're in October 6th of 2024. Again, he's saying, I'm not going to make you sleep on the couch. You can crash in my room. He keeps trying to get her to go in his room. She doesn't want to go in his room. All right. Now, in this one, he goes on to say, well, she responds and she says, I hate asking that, but it's up to you. I really do not mind the couch, though. So she wants to be on the couch. And this is how I know she was being honest about this. She specifically said to me the first time I talked to her about this, about the couch situation. I didn't entirely understand the timeline, but now I'm looking at these screen caps and everything. I get exactly what she was saying. And this guy, he was trying to create a situation to try to get her in his damn bed. He says, our schedules are so different, it's not going to make a difference. But she doesn't want to be in your bed, man. You wanted the scent of a woman on your bed sheets. Let's keep it real. You probably, Nathan or Nathaniel, been watching her live stream for at least over a year. Probably as soon as you learned about her, as soon as you saw what she looked like, as soon as you realized that there was a feasible way for you to hang out with her or meet her, you probably started watching her live stream, observing her, gathering information about her, basically utilizing military tactics upon her that you learned in your multiple years in the military. You're misusing your training, by the way. And I am going to make sure that some of your comrades or people that you worked with in the military know about this, because you're a sicko. But you learned everything you could about her. You waited until she was in a vulnerable position, and then you created a situation and you lured her into a trap, which is your house from hell. That's what you did. And you're even going as far as to say, like, oh, our schedules are so different. It's not going to make a difference. It does make a difference. You will probably find a way to come home early to where you catch her in the bed. And that way you can get in the bed with her, or just something. And plus the fact that she generally likes to live stream, and wearing her comfortable house clothes. She likes to wear her little shorts and everything. You were probably hoping that she'd be in her little shorts or her panties or whatever, live streaming in the bed. And you were probably thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to just jump in the bed with her, because you were more than willing to go on the live stream. Did you have people behind the scenes saying to you, oh, maybe you can get her to do a chatterbait stream with you? I bet you did. I bet you did. But let's go ahead and go to the next screen cap. I'll look at the chat when I'm done with this. All right, here we go. And this is October 8th, a couple days later. Doors unlocked. I'm going to bed, but feel free to come lay down. Again, he's trying to get her to come in his room in his bed. He's a predator. All right, then I thought this was weird that he sent her this text. He sent her a text with this image that says, when you look back on all the people you've dated, and it's a picture of Homer Simpson reading a book that says, Am I Disabled? I mean, why would you be telling your tenant about the people that you've dated? I don't think it was her who sent that text, but I'm here to tell you, Nathaniel Lee, that yes, you are indeed undateable. That's why you have not been able to procure a wife for yourself. And honestly, it's just too late for you to do so now. So then let's go ahead and look at the next thing. Okay, then it looks like he sent her this text, which I thought was odd. It's a text of an eggplant and a piece of cheese. And as all of us know, an eggplant often does represent um, male genitalia in the world of emoticons or emojis. So that was very inappropriate for him to send to her. Even as a friend, he should not have sent that to her. I thought that was very gross. And let's see, is there anything else? Yeah, this one. All right, this is the most important text probably. This is from October 25th. I believe this would have been the instance to where um, he did do something physically inappropriate with her. And again, she brushed it off. Um, a lot of women would not have brushed it off, but this is what he's trying to cover up. Okay. October 25th, which was a Friday, he sent her a text at 12:31 a.m. saying, I'm sorry I was a bit of a dick earlier. She says, it's okay. I'm sorry that happened. And then he responds saying, it's life. Good night. See, there's that goddamn entitlement that he has. Um, I don't know what needs to intervene in this situation. I don't know if it needs to be law enforcement. I don't know if he needs to face legal penalties. I don't know if this needs to be done outside of the courts or what. But in my opinion, he thought that she was a girl that he could use, abuse, treat poorly, act inappropriately with, because she was in a vulnerable position. And he's trying to get public approval from it through the communities that this channel covers. And I'm just not going to let it happen. I mean, I know a lot of you out there, you don't like Vegan Patriot for whatever reason. More of you probably don't like me for whatever reason, but a lot of you really need to look at this for what it is. This is a guy trying to take advantage of a woman, and it's wrong. There's no getting around it. Not at all. If he wants a woman that he can treat like shit and that he can do whatever he wants with, then he needs to go to a third world country, not be in the United States of America. Vegan Patriot is an American citizen, and she has rights. And Nathaniel, I'm already being told you're trying to have my channel shut down. That doesn't matter. And I'm going to tell you why. I mean, first and foremost, if you do get this channel shut down, it's really going to be hell on earth for you. But it doesn't matter because I'm not dependent only on YouTube. I'm taking this whole situation off YouTube, and I'm just going to make it to where when people search you, they're going to find out about this situation. It's not right what you did. Vegan never sent me the text that you just posted to the entire world. And I'm glad that she didn't. I'd rather you be the one to dig the hole for yourself and you be the one to tell on yourself than for her to tell on you. That way people can see what kind of monster you really are. So let me go ahead and look at the chat and see if anyone has anything of note to say. No, not really. All right, well, take care. I just wanted to present those texts because a lot of people are going to try to make it to where a lot of this information gets lost in the shuffle, but it's not going to get lost in the shuffle. This is going to be everywhere because I want to make sure that no other women fall prey to this guy because he's a real good actor. Real good actor, but people like me can see through it, probably because I've actually been a professional actress and I know every single tell, every single one. So keep it up, Nathaniel Lee. Keep it up. Nothing you can do about it. You're a goddamn public figure. You shouldn't be. You're not good looking enough. And you're also not smart enough. You're just a loser who could have probably had a very good friend in Shay, Vegan Patriot, but you blew it. I hope you drop dead. Bye-bye.